I'm Chef Frank, this is Protocooks, and today we're making a marinated grilling cheese with a red pepper and saffron relish. I love Spain, I love tapas, so we're gonna do a little bit of a series about tapas. Some of the tapas I had when I was in Spain, some of the ones that I created when I was a chef in a Spanish restaurant. The first time I went to Spain, I was working for a company that took us on a trip to basically eat and drink for a week and kind of like soak in all the culture of Spain. And I had this dish in a town called Yecla, which is really well known for one of its wines that it makes. And I had this dish there and I had to bring it home and recreate it when I was working in the restaurant. Here's my ingredients. Chopped white onion, chopped bell pepper. I'm using an orange bell pepper, but you can use red or yellow. I just wouldn't use a green one for this. Extra virgin olive oil, red wine vinegar, chopped garlic, paprika, tomato paste, a little bit of saffron, just like a pinch of saffron, and then a semi-soft marinated grilling cheese. Let's make the pepper relish. I have my pan on kind of medium-high, and we're gonna sweat the vegetables out all together and make this delicious relish. So extra virgin olive oil. Normally don't cook with extra virgin olive oil, but for this recipe, like, it just really kind of adds something to it, okay? I'm gonna add my onions in first, right? And these are just kind of plain white onions. I'm gonna hit them with just a little bit of salt. Salt will help draw out some of the moisture, right? And I'm just gonna let these sweat lightly. It's a little dry in there, so I'm gonna add kind of the rest of my oil there. I had, probably like a half a cup of oil. I'm just going to let these go until they start to get a little translucent. A little more salt. While my vegetables are sweating, I'm going to add the saffron, right? Saffron really does nice in oil. It kind of gets really nice color and it starts to bloom in the oil. You don't need a lot of saffron. Saffron's really powerful, and I just want it to be a background flavor and a little bit of a color in here. I don't want people to be like, oh, that's saffron in there. I want it to be like this nice kind of background flavor. You can see like my oil is already starting to get a little yellow from it. You can bloom this in water as well, a little hot water in your saffron. I just like to put it in the oil. All right, my onions are getting starting to soften up. I'm going to add my garlic, and it's a fair amount of garlic. And as always, I'll have the recipe down below in the description. Everything's getting fragrant now. I can smell the garlic. It's not getting brown or toasty. It's just kind of softening up and releasing some of its fragrance. I'm going to add the peppers. I'm just using some orange bell peppers. You can use red or yellow. Look at that. It's beautiful. I'm going to add the rest of my oil. And at the end of the dish, I don't care if this has a little oil seeping out of it. I kind of like that. A little more salt. I'm going to season as I go. Not a ton of salt, just a little salt here and there, just so we have a nice flavor throughout. I'm going to add my paprika now. Not a ton of paprika, I just want a little bit of flavor, a little bit of color from it. And I don't want to add it and cook it in the fat for too long because it'll burn. I'm going to add my tomato paste. My tomato paste in there, stir it around a little. And I'm going to add some water. And the water is just going to make this saucy. I want the tomato paste to kind of break down and make this into kind of a saucy texture. See how it's nice? Oh, look at that. So it's all bound together with the tomato paste. I'm going to lower my heat just a little. I want to simmer away. If it's too thick, add a little more water. But we're just going to let this simmer for about 10 minutes and we'll come back and finish it up. This has been cooking for about 10 minutes. It cooked down a little. It got a little thicker. I'm just going to add a little bit of water because I don't want this to be too thick. I'm just going to thin it out a little. I'm going to add just a touch of red wine vinegar as well. I don't think I need it all because I don't want this to be acidic. I just want it to have a little more balance. The tomato paste cooks down, it gets a little sweet. So I just want to have a little balance. I'm going to hit it with some black pepper. I'm going to hold off on the salt for a sec, and I'm going to give it a taste with my handy dandy Star Wars spoon. It needs salt, definitely needs salt. A fair amount. And I'm going to hit it with a little more vinegar as well. Good. Give it a good stir. Give it another taste. I won't double dip, I'll just put this onto my spoon. Much better. Good. The pepper relish is done. It's time to go outside and grill the cheese. Before we start cooking, I want to talk about the cheese we're using today. This is Rougette Bonfire Marinated Grilling Cheese. It's a semi-soft grilling cheese that is marinated in a little oil and some herbs. And they're our sponsor. We have a sponsor. Woohoo! I want to talk about this cheese because it was introduced to me by one of my students. Not only is it delicious, it's like super convenient. It comes in this like little 2-pack cryovac, and it also comes in a tray to cook it in. You can grill this, bake it, broil it. It really gets nice and smoky on the grill, and it gets a nice kind of caramelization on it. And it's just delicious. And it's just perfect for this recipe. So thank you, Rougette Bonfire, for sponsoring the video, and thanks for the cheese. Welcome to the great outdoors. We're in my backyard at the grill. I have my grill on for the past about 20 minutes just to get it nice and hot. And I always clean my grill, even though these are in a tray. I always want my grill to be nice and hot and clean. What's great about this is now I can just take this cheese, put it right on the grill. I like to separate them just a little, and I'm just going to leave them on the grill on the hot spot just so it starts to get caramelized. Right away it starts to bubble and sizzle. We're going to try and give it a turn once it gets a little caramelized, but at this point we just want to leave it alone. Most people, when they grill, they start to fuss and they start to poke at things, and then things stick and they have problems with it. In this case, I'm leaving it be until I see that it's getting nice and caramelized, and then I'll give it a flip. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these off. I'm going to bring it over here, get under it, make sure I get all that nice brown stuff on it, give it a flip. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. I'm going to go back on the grill and get the other side a little crispy. All right, we're going to take these off the grill, put them on a plate. Let's bring them inside and plate it up. It is time to plate. Now this plating is not like fancy or anything like that. I'm going to take a beautiful piece of this cheese. Just going to go right on the plate. It's super soft and creamy. Get some of that saffron and pepper relish and just put it over the top. We still want to see the cheese, but I want to put enough on there so that we have enough to eat the whole piece of cheese. And yes, I'm going to eat this whole piece of cheese because I'm a savage. And that's it. That's my dish. Marinated grilling cheese with a saffron pepper relish. Okay, it's time to taste. Let's get in there. The cheese is super creamy. The relish has a little bit of acidity to it, but it's a little sweet. It's a wonderful combination. You gotta try it. And that's it. That's my marinated grilling cheese with a saffron and pepper relish. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Hit the little bell to be notified when we get a new video. We have merch down in the description down below. We also have a P.O. box down there. I'd like to thank my patrons on Patreon for all your help. And I'd like to thank Rougette Bonfire for sponsoring this video and giving me delicious cheese. Thank you so much. That's it. I'm Chef Frank. This is Protocooks. Have a good one.